Welcome in, Chiefs Kingdom. You have a ball game against the Baltimore Ravens coming, and everybody wants to count Patrick Mahomes out. I'm going to tell you why. That is not going to happen. He's Dan Harms. I'm Ryan Tracy. How you hanging, Dan?
You know, it's one of those Red Fridays that we didn't expect to see, with the Chiefs being 1-2, the Baltimore Ravens being 1-2. This was a matchup that people kind of expected to be like it was in week 1 last year, where you're going to get two heavyweights of the AFC, where right now the AFC looks a little bit different than it has in the past. The Colts are 3-0. Some weird things are happening. The Chargers are also 3-0. There's a lot of early season jitters around some of the top teams in the AFC outside of the Bills. So there's definitely some things that we're going to talk about that hopefully this game can resolve.
I hope so as well. Folks, welcome in. I know it's a little bit earlier than we usually are. We're under a couple of time constraints. So we wanted to get this live and get it for you. So we are taking some of your questions as we get through our points. Super Chats get an answer, absolutely, and we'll try to address all the other topics if we can. Dub Freaks in early. I don't even know what time is it. 2 a.m. Are you riding a rig or something? What are you doing, Dub? That's crazy.
We have a super chat we have to address before we go any further.
Yes, we do. I was just about to get there. I'm glad you brought it up. So do you want to read that out? Do we have a visual?
I don't have a visual of it.
Okay.
If you want to find it, you know, we can figure that out. I can talk to people now midnight. He says it's midnight over there, so it's not that bad. It could be worse. What's going on, Big Pat? Nice to see you. Brenda, thank you for being here. I know, again, there's a little bit of a different time, but it's 7 over here on the Eastern time zone for those of you that aren't over here. So things are a little bit different when we have to work around time constraints, when now, instead of being only an hour ahead of Ryan, I am 2 hours ahead of Ryan. So it's only 5 o'clock where he's at, which is very interesting to me every single time we have to do it.
Yeah, it certainly is. I am searching for, it's Brian Acker. He got in here a little bit early on the Q&A the other night, and we didn't get to him. So we want to lead off with it, but I'm having a little trouble finding it. So I'm going to keep digging.
One second. You screenshotted it to me, so I will just pull it up on my phone. Let's see here. Okay, I got it. Okay. All right. So Brian Acker says it with a $20 super chat. First of all, thank you very much for the support with the 20. That's fantastic. And we're so very sorry that we did not see this. I don't know how it missed. It didn't get illuminated by StreamYard. So it's on us for not seeing it. It's on them for not actually doing their jobs. So we appreciate you being here. His question is, I love 87B. He's not very effective due to no Rice and Worthy. Also, new running back Smith needs more touches. So to your first point, I've gotten a lot of requests to do a show about what's going on with Travis Kelce. If we have another game like we have seen from Travis these last 2 weeks, where he's just off a little bit, the blocking isn't there, what I will do, regardless of the outcome, will be a show Wednesday about Travis Kelce. It will be singular over what he has done this season and what's going on, maybe mentally, physically, blocking, not blocking, receiving, all that stuff. We'll get into all that if we see another kind of dud from the big man there, the probably final year of his contract. As well, to your second point, we did kind of address a lot of the Brashard Smith stuff on Tuesday, but this is what it is, guys. Andy Reid was already hesitant to give, like, Kareem Hunt when he was a rookie, a full workload. Like, they didn't have a choice because he was the only guy on the roster. He's hesitant with rookies. He wants them to go along at his pace, what he believes. And we have to remember that Brashard Smith was a wide receiver before he was a running back his last year at SMU when he transferred. So yes, I think he looked pretty good for a former wide receiver. He did a pretty good job of running inside zone, running outside zone, but that's really the main state of it. And also, we want him to get more touches as well, but he's not to the Kareem Hunt level of pass protection. I would say he might not even be to Isaiah Pacheco either. So little microcosm of why he's not on the field yet. And hopefully after a couple of weeks, we'll be able to see him get to that point.
I completely agree with you. And I think as we go forward, it's going to evolve. I think what happened here to start the season, quite honestly, is they got caught. They've been limping into the season for the last 3 years, like not showing up at their A games in the first quarter of the year, not showing anything. Andy being stubborn and holding everything back for the end of the year. And I am convinced of that. I don't care what anybody says. You cannot change my mind. I think he's doing it, period. But that said, This year it caught up with them and some other teams. And like I said in the preseason, if you guys missed it, we talked about who could end up where, both in the AFC and the AFC West. I don't feel like the Chiefs have taken a step back. Even though the offense is not what it should be right now, it's more about the injuries than the offense not working. I think it's more that other teams have improved. The entire AFC West made very specific draft choices, free agent signings, etc., in order to come after this team and combat this team. I think that's what's caught up with them. But there are ways around it. Unfortunately, this week, job number one is something that I'm usually the one crying about left, right, and center. And I just don't think that they're going to do it. But this is what they need to do to get a win, and that is run the damn ball straight at the defense. Travis Jones limited all week. He is going to go, probably as their nose, could slide over in their even fronts and play that like 3-tech. I don't think he's going to be very effective. Madubuike is out. I think the two of them together are more than each of them are individually. So I think that's more of a hit to the defense than anybody in Baltimore, and certainly the rest of the talking head media want to admit. So you have to take advantage of that. The problem is when you have Isaiah Pacheco and you have Pops and you have Clyde on the bench somewhere and you have the rookie and you don't really want to use any of them, what the hell are you going to do? I'm going to tell you right now, the run game has to be important. It can't just be haphazard. And I think that means they need to come out and they need to put a fullback on the field. And this is not just me because I love the fullback. I'm saying you have to take advantage of it. You have to make this opportunity to run down the Baltimore Ravens' throats a reality. You cannot afford to let that pass.
I don't even think it has to necessarily be a Carson Steele fullback. Robert Tonyan as your H-back probably needs to happen a little bit, or Noah Gray. And I was on with Ken McKissick of Film Study Ravens. He does a thing over there for the Ravens a ton. He's got a ton of film study stuff. Our show will be going up probably tomorrow or Sunday before the game. He talked about how the middle linebackers, the inside linebackers for the Ravens are also having struggles this year. Even Roquan Smith isn't playing up to his standard. So if you're going to do anything against this defense, I know Roquan Smith is going to be the guy, right? You don't necessarily want to run right at him. However, if Travis Jones is not up to standard, if he's not to par, which I'm still not 100% sure he's going to be like ineffective, because they're going to get the Ravens A game. They're going to. This is not the Lions. Like, this is not the same thing as being at home against the Lions where they got punched in the mouth. They're coming off of that. So now it's going to be about them responding. You're going to get a good effort from them on defense, but misdirection. You want to move Roquan Smith with misdirection and then run up the middle, because that's where you're most effective. You're not going to be able to run outside unless you really get some legit play action or actual movement in the run game, which we have yet to really truly see some flashes here and there. So run game, I'm still hesitant they're going to be able to do it. However, them giving Nico Remigio the football on an jet sweep with Xavier Worthy coming back should be enough to give the Ravens just that little bit in the back of their mind with those motions to say, look, we kind of have to worry about that now that Xavier Worthy is back, because we don't want that to be an effective game plan for us. But for me, I don't even know if I'm going to go on the offensive side, because I don't think it's got to do with the offense in this game. I think they're going to be just fine the second half against the Giants. Honestly, I didn't hate their offense in the first half. It was more the penalties and the execution stuff, because they're moving the ball until they got to halftime, until they got to the midfield point. On the defensive side, for me, the first point of action is going to be Chris Jones. Chris Jones this year has 6 pressures in 3 games. 6. That's all he has. He's got 6. Okay. So first and foremost, he had a 12.9% pressure rate last year, which is 3rd among defensive tackles in the NFL. These are all via next gen stats. And this season, it's 6.5% pressure rate. It's not good. And it's not necessarily only about the rushing the passer, which I'm going to talk about a little bit with this as well. But he's just not being as effective. Steve Spagnuolo talked about, his press conference before the game this week about how, he got doubled a little bit more. I think he was a little bit more effective last week against the Giants. Well, the Giants offensive line's hot garbage. It's bad. And it was full of backups in the second half too, because they had Andrew Thomas on a snap count. So the Ravens, I think Daniel Falele has been getting better. And speaking of last year, when he had 4 pressures against, he had 4 pressures against the Ravens last year. They came against Daniel Falele. They weren't from the edge. They were from the interior. Mm-hmm. This has got to be a Chris Jones football game. We need to see multiple run stuffs where he's getting off the ball, getting into the backfield, dominating those two guys between Tyler Linderbaum as well as Daniel Falele. And then in the pass rush, he has to be the force because you need to stop Lamar Jackson from going upfield. You want to box him in. The game plan for Steve Spagnuolo is probably going to be largely the same as we've seen. 2 high shells, and you're going to box him in. Force him to hold on to the football because Lamar Jackson this season, really the last couple of seasons, has been a hold the ball and we want to throw it downfield. He's got like 10.7 yards, air yards attempted per pass this year. He is trying to hold the football and throw it down the field. Rush, lane integrity is going to be extremely important, but the only way you can really utilize that is if Chris Jones actually comes to play on Sunday.
That's fair. That's fair. He's got to stir the drink. Right now, George Karlaftis has more pressure than he does. So I'm 100% with you. This is the part where you got to be careful what you ask for because if you're trying to flush him up the middle, if he gets one guy who guesses and is out of position in those run fits, he will escape. And that's where I think I'm a little bit more concerned about, especially once he breaks through the line of scrimmage, Nick Bolton and Lamar Jackson one-on-one. I'm not happy with that. That's not good for my health. So we got to be careful about where they go with that. It certainly comes down to making sure that you don't give Lamar what he needs or what he feels comfortable with. And for me, that means taking away the tight ends. They did a hell of a job playing split safety. Dave Merritt talked about it today about how when we play too high, it's because we don't necessarily have to have the skill set. And a lot of people were asking me, is he trying to talk shit on his own players? And I'm like, no, they're all young. It's Brian Cook and McDuffie, the Fab Five, are like the elder statesmen in this secondary. Let's be real. So like you got to take some of that chances away. And I think knowing what they did to Neighbors, and I think the Giants played into that themselves, what they asked Neighbors to do, I think they could have gotten a little more creative with it. But you have to take away, first and foremost, Andrews, in my opinion. I'm not sure likely he's 100% that he can break you, but you have to have a plan to take them away because as much as Zay Flowers is a good skill player and he does have the ability to break away, I don't think if you put McDuffie on him, you're at a disadvantage. I'd call that a break even or maybe a slight advantage of the Chiefs' side. So it's about taking away the comfort, the blanket that he likes, and that is the tight ends. If you can do that, then I think you have a chance of allowing Chris Jones and the rest of that pass rush to get there. But for me, it's about the way that you choose to align yourself to take away those tight ends and to threaten what maybe you don't actually do in combating them.
Because realistically, without Mark Andrews last week against the Lions, they had a really bad offensive night. Mark Andrews was open all the time. And the Chiefs have actually done a very good job historically of taking him away. And you want to know why they were able to do that? Because Justin Reed was the go take him away in those big games. Go and you go get him. Jaden Hicks, my guy, this has got to be your game. This is all you. In my opinion, I don't think you can put Shamari Connor on him one-on-one. I think that's a bad matchup for you because even though Mark Andrews is a tight end, Connor is your big nickel, he's more savvy. And he's gonna get Connor leaning one way, and he doesn't have that recovery footwork. I think Jaden Hicks does. We'll see what they do, but I'm with you 100%. I don't think that this is a go take away Rashad Bateman, go take away Zay Flowers. I think they contain the receivers. I got no issues with that, and especially because Lamar wants to throw the ball down the field. Those guys aren't like natural route runners where they're going to run a 15-yard and then break off. Like Zay Flowers can do that from time to time. He's been able to on those deep benders, but he's more about using his speed to back guys off. And like you said, if you've got Trent McDuffie there, I'm less worried about it, especially if Noel Williams can get some hands on that guy. Because I'm telling you right now, if Noel can get hands on Zay Flowers, which is a tough task, he's going to body check him in the next week. He's going to throw him off his feet. That's what he wants to do. And I hope we get to see more of Noel Williams this week. So getting back a little bit, I'm going to tell you guys, after the first game of the season, I thought the Chiefs' run defense was just overcommitting because they didn't have the bodies to stop it. I was wrong. I was wrong about the run defense. The run defense has been excellent. It's been fantastic. And it's because of the recognition of Nick Bolton, of Drew Tranquill, of them seeing those run blocks and understanding what's a pass option and what's an actual run. They've done, like I said, a fantastic job of that. I'm going to do like an X factor / key for me in this game, and it's Leo Chenal. Leo Chenal in the last matchup against the Ravens had a little bit of spy work. Right now, he's already played 32 snaps at defensive end. You have Mike Dana probable for this game. He's probably going to play him. Sorry, he was just downgraded. My apologies. He was just downgraded to, I believe,
questionable.
I'll pull up the report. I believe
I saw probable this afternoon too. Okay, I'll double check. But keep your thought going.
Yeah. So I mean, you have Ashton Gelati with an illness, right? We don't know if he's going to play. If he does, maybe he's not fully effective. You know that Charles Omenihu on the outside is not as effective as he has been even last year, which is something to see. But Leo Chanel has been kind of this hybrid 3-4 outside linebacker for the Chiefs this year, where they can drop him into coverage, they rush him against the passer, but he is a stand-up defensive end that they play also in this 4-3 defense that Steve Spagnuolo runs. It allows them to be a nickel while also being in that 1-5 front. That's pseudo what that bear front is that Ryan is talking about, because you have Nick Bolton in the middle with your Tranquil on the outside, as well as, Leo Chanel, and then you bring in Karlaftis, Chris Jones, and whoever else you want, and it rounds out what they can do defensively against the run. And I know that Derrick Henry is a monster. I am one of the people that believes that he truly is an alien, and you can't just want to stop him. Like, you have to go make him stop. I also don't care about the fumble stuff. It'd be great if they could get a fumble from him. It'd be fantastic to get a fumble. But I'm not counting on a fumble against the guy who wants to beat this football team as much as I think he does. So I don't think you count on that. But the run defense, I think if they can continue to play like they have been and like they did in that postseason game, this is what I'm seeing in my mind. Like, Leo Chanel can be your pseudo spy. We're going to fake rush him, but he's going to spy Lamar. He's going to be that contained guy. If he gets on the outside, if he goes back to the inside, Leo can kind of match with him and be that presence in this defense. So the run defense is going to play off of the pass rush and really going to force Lamar to throw the football to win, which is how I think that Steve Spagnuolo in the past has made him so one-dimensional, and it's really paid off for the Chiefs.
Yeah, it knocks it down, because I think he feeds off of having a two-way go on any given play, right? Being able to use his legs really lights him up. KT, why do the Ravens get more respect than us? I'm confused. Because they're more straightforward. They're less quarterback dependent. They are a better, a more even team, defense to offense, etc. And they don't have any other stars besides him. I mean, I'm not trying to talk shit on Zay Flowers, but like, there's no other stars except for Henry and Lamar on that offense, and I think that feeds into it.
And their offense has been better. That realistically, their offense has been
more
better.
Consistent anyway. Yeah. Less explosive in my opinion, but yeah. Albert, hope you're doing well. Thanks for the cool content. Absolutely. Always super interesting. Greetings from Germany. Well, guten Tag, and I hope you're doing well. I don't know what time it is in Germany. It's got to be an hour ahead of London, right? So it's 1 a.m.
Probably.
So, yeah, have a Froschsteiner from me, and I hope you're doing well.
Thank you, Albert.
God, now I want German beer. This is what I'm doing tonight now. Will Worthy be used on reverses and quick screen passes to get him the ball, or only used on deep routes to protect his shoulder? I think the traversing traffic on screens in particular is not something that I really want him to do. The only plus is that he can catch it here and not overextend that, but he's got to turn that up real quick. So if he does, I would look for it out of triangles, the 3-man sets on that side, rather than the quick screen where you just have one receiver out front of you. I would not go that direction. But you also got to make sure that if you're going to put him on deep routes, he's got to kind of be the trail or the guy that's breaking the defense, not the guy that's up, got a man in his face, because you don't want to get early contact on him and jam up that shoulder.
Yeah, I want to see kind of more, not necessarily like straight deep routes, but in breakers. I want to see in breakers, because then you can allow him to run into space and get down. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I hope they can do for him. Jet sweeps as well, where you're able to kind of run outside the numbers and stay in that, keep that shoulder protected a little bit. I'm interested, because watching him in practice, he doesn't look like a guy who's really worried about the pain, worried about the injury.
I agree. I was just going to say the same thing. Like, for some of those catches, like, I was like, oh, that looks pretty dang normal.
That's pretty good. Like, for a guy who we are worried about this, he seems just fine, which again, it could just be practice magic, or we'll find out.
Or he just ain't worried. I like what you said there, though. Not only the in breakers, but the deep comebacks too, especially when they align him on the left-hand side of the formation. That means he's stemming hard and coming back with his inside shoulder, the injured one, routes. So it's protected.
Comebacks, out routes, like stuff to keep him away from being hit.
Exactly, especially on that side. But to Barkley's question here, will having Worthy and Thorne on the field at the same time open up the short and intermediate routes? It absolutely should, and this is, I believe, how the offense was designed to work this year. I don't think they were counting on Thornton. I thought they'd be like, okay, Xavier and Hollywood, you guys run off, and Rasheed's going to have the middle of the field to himself. We don't care. Now you're going to twist that a little bit, and I'm perfectly fine with it because that's 3 guys that can run past most of the DBs on this opposition's secondary.
Yeah, the only guy you have to worry about is Wiggins because Nate Wiggins is a legit guy. So you're going to probably man him up on Xavier once and Thornton on the other time to try to give each other a break. But honestly, I think this opens up Hollywood for the intermediate stuff where I think he's kind of lost a step. But if you can get him on some more dig routes, and I know that's like we want to see all 3 of those guys running dig routes at some point, whether it's a back, whether it's on the backside, whether it's front side or something like that. You want to get these guys open into space, but you have all 3 of those guys on the field at least for 5, 6, 7 plays. You can really open up what is allowed underneath, and we're not talking about the defense compressing the intermediate parts of the field like we have seen.
For those of you who are struggling, dig is a deep in route that you want to get off of that vertical stem to let that defender kind of fade back, especially if they're giving you a lot of cushion. Like you want to use that a lot.
I just want to go a little bit further too, in case you guys again don't know. Visualizing, think of it as someone you got like Ryan said, a little bit of cushion. You want to floor it, right? Think back to jet ship wasp, right? Watch Sammy Watkins. Think of Sammy Watkins in your head. That is we are flooring it down the field 10, 12 yards, and we are going to just start to break it through into that. Like that's what we want to see in terms of a dig route.
Yeah, and I do think that is a worthy-esque run or route in this game because you're not necessarily going to throw that. That's really to stress the defense so someone else can catch the ball most of the time, unless you're running double streaks or something like that to have that be the secondary read, especially for Mahomes when he's reading in line with a deeper route behind a dig or a curl at 12 or a deep curl like that. You can probably do the same thing where the timing's similar. It's all about the geometry there. And will he be used as more of a decoy than anything else? I don't know that I would go that far. Again, he's off the report completely. He's 100% go. He looks natural. I don't know. It feels like to hear Connor Embry say it today and take that with what you will. They're like, we didn't tell him to slide or nothing. We didn't tell him to get out of bounds. And he's going to be playing ball, so just go play ball. So it sounds like there's no breaks at this point.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to see. And I think that might be a little bit of a psych too for the Ravens. But at the end of the day, I'm good with it. If he thinks if he's comfortable, if it's all just dealing with pain and he's going to, sure.
Yeah. I already talked to Bradley on X here, but what do you think?
All right. Bradley, I mentioned this to Ryan about Xavier Worthy coming back against the pass defense of the Ravens, which is not very good. And I do believe our receiving core is going to exploit them. You think so? Probably a little bit, but the problem isn't so much, I think, for me about what they can do against any defense, because I think that they're more than capable of exploiting defenses. They did it with the Chargers. Honestly, they've guys have been open. They've exploited defenses all season long in the first 3 weeks. It's about the execution. It's not about the players being in the spot. It's about, can you catch the football? Can you be in the right spot? Can Patrick get to where he needs to go? And can we not have to worry about, Kelsey's not in the right spot. He drops this pass over here. They don't connect here. Executing is the most important part. And I believe they can exploit them, yes, but they have to execute those plays to prove, not just to me, but to everyone else, that's something they can consistently do.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. And it hurts the defense. The more you prove it, the more it works. That's just the way that it is. Can 55 and 97 get more playing time this week? Beach, great question. Gelati did miss. He was not at practice at all today with an illness they listed him in. They have him as questionable. But according to the guys that were in the room, Andy feels like he's probably likely to go. Will he be 100%? I doubt it. But he's probably a little low on liquids. If he's sick, he's probably got a hydration issue going on, something like that. So I want to see him early and see what he can do. As far as Norman Lott, I'm super intrigued in how he takes on this interior threesome there, Baltimore. I think this. I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like this might be able to be a little bit of a breakout for him.
I think his physicality against Tyler Linderbaum, who is an undersized center, might be, hey, buddy, you're going to play zero a lot this week, or we're going to inside shade you like one tech all game long on one of the sides of him, and we're just going to have you go up against him all day long. I know Tyler Linderbaum's a very good zone athletic center. Like I understand all of that, and he's got experience in the league. I do think that Omar Norman-Lott's the only guy on this defensive line that's going to play defensive tackle, like right over his face. They can give him some problems. So one of the things you notice from him is that ability to kind of stack. And what that means is you take the lineman and you kind of extend your arms a little bit. When you stack, you can peek, right? You can peek around and you can find that football. Linebackers do it too. They have to be able to do it. Nick Bolton can't do it, but that's because he's got really short arms. But Omar Norman-Lott can do it. He did it multiple times against the Giants where he gets on a block and he extends and he stacks that offensive lineman back and he peeks for the football. When you do that, you force the running back to now have to pick and choose, which allows linebackers to flow into their gaps where they properly do. You saw Nick Bolton flow properly when he peeks around one side, Bolton goes the other way, and they get a negative play. So, yeah, I think that he's in a position to have a really good game on Sunday.
I'm pretty much, if it's me, I'm just telling you, own that A gap. I don't give a shit what else you do. Just own that A gap and we're going to be okay. Like, destroy that thing. And that'll hurt everyone from Lamar to Derek to everybody else. Just don't try to tackle Derek Henry high. Okay, bro? You're going to get a shot at him. Don't go high. I'm just telling you. He will make you look silly. Thank you, Beach. And thank you, Dove Freak. Nice to see you. And happy weekend off for you. Do you guys think that Andy needs to change his scheme? This is what being a member and a contributor to us for so long is I want to know exactly what you mean. He'll never go away from the West Coast, but he could tweak some things. So we all want to run to be featured more, but I feel like constantly running out of shotgun just isn't doing it. Let's run behind 65. The dude is a mauler, old school style. You're preaching to the choir here, man. You want to run the ball straight ahead, old school. Yeah, that's me. That's not Andy. And unfortunately, I agree with you about the shotgun thing, but that takes the quarterback being willing to do that. And it does, I think, most importantly, limit what Patrick can go to. If he doesn't like the look, if they do come in and mug up the A gaps or wherever he's trying to go, he isn't quite as variable there. And he mentioned, I think kind of off the cuff the other day about how, I've got freedom to change things in this offense. And I think that might be the thing that Patrick covets the most. And if he's under center, I think it limits him a little bit. I think that's why they don't do it more. What do you think?
I mean, maybe, but if they were to rush to the line a little bit more and play a little bit more up-tempo, they'd have more time for Patrick to change the play completely. At home would be the time to do that. Get your play in quickly if it's going to be an under center fit, and then you come to the line, you don't like the look, you check out of it, you go to shotgun, you motion guys out. And I know that's like, we're talking Peyton Manning, Tom Brady type of stuff where that was late in their career. And it's not an easy thing to do. Everyone also has to know where they're supposed to be in all of those plays. You have to be able to change on a dime. It's not an easy thing to do every single time. However, if you can't run under center run fits that are play action passes that consistently enough, I don't think you're going to be able to consistently generate offense in the league right now. It's just purely out of shotgun it just makes it easy right now for defenses who don't have to do so much. They don't have to trigger downhill. If you watch Chiefs in shotgun, defenses don't trigger downhill. They're just like, fine, you want to run the ball? Fine, go ahead. We don't care. We're not worried about it. So you have to make them worry about it in order to be able to run multiple different things. So I don't know if I necessarily think I want him to change the scheme. There's different playbooks that Andy has for Alex Smith, for Chad Henne, for Patrick Mahomes. I just want to see a little bit more of what he would ask Chad Henne to run, a little bit more of what he would have asked Alex Smith to run. Just a sprinkle. Just sprinkle it in a little bit, because I think that would keep defenses honest a little bit more.
Chef Dan and the sprinkle. I'm going to have to get a picture of you to do a new shirt or something there. By the way, folks, if you like what we're doing and you don't know us, or even if you do and you don't get any of this stuff yet, if you want to support the channel, you can do what Dove Freak did. You can buy the gear. We got a ton of it out there. So check out the store. It's down in the description. We would appreciate it, and that helps us keep the channel going. Dove Freak, thank you again. Always super generous with your compensation, and very good with the questions as well.
Thank you very much.
Keep those coming too, brother. Love seeing Leo in the DE role. This is a two-parter from Cody. If they keep moving in that direction, could it mean more play time for Boss in the future as an OLB in coverage? That's possible. But they're too variable right now. Right now, Leo's out there because they feel he can drop significantly into zones. Maybe not man, but zones. Yeah. And he can rush the passer. What I loved about Boss is he's willing to attack. He is willing to blitz. He is willing to rush the passer he just can't do it that well yet. No. He has to have a certain advantage, either angularly or speed-wise, in order to survive contact with guards. And I think he needs a season to kind of grow his functional strength when actually engaging with offensive linemen, and then he'll have more of a shot. In the meantime, I think he would be more of a true like roaming will more than a dual role like Leo is. But I didn't read the second part yet, Dan. So let's see what this is. I'm referring to Spags and how he likes to have players blend into different roles. So do you see anything else there that could be an opportunity for either of them?
I don't necessarily know about like different opportunities. We kind of know what Leo is going to do, quote unquote, with the way he's being deployed right now. However, I do think that there is a unique role that he can play. We have not seen Jeffrey Bassa on the field on defense at all. So I'm not even counting on him playing defense until after the bye week. And then maybe you see him only in limited usages. So for Leo specifically, there's a couple of different things you can do. Again, he's going to play a little bit of overhang linebacker. He's going to play defensive end. And I do think he's going to spy Lamar Jackson a little bit. So different roles for different players, sure. But Bassa is not quite to the level of physicality that can back it up like Leo Chenal is. Like he's not to that point. And that's really why he's sitting right now, is because even Drew Tranquill who is a former safety as well. Bassa's learning from Drew Tranquill, so he can take over his job next year. It's a lot of learning on the job right now.
Yeah, and it's a sponge. You know, you don't necessarily get a 1-for-1 kind of thing going in there. So, folks, give our buddy Gary a hand, will you? He's monitoring the mod situation. He is one of our old school guys, been here from the OG, and I appreciate you, buddy. So give him a hand, will you? And thank you for the questions, Cody. I think we do get 3 safety splits against the Ravens and eliminate the pass gaming. Keep Connor in the safety role and Christian Wallace back there as well. Do you agree or disagree? Man, I tell you, I want to see Chris Wallace out there more, especially if they're going to run 2 highs, because I think he can do that all day long. The impression I got from Dave Merritt today was, hey, he did a hell of a job reading that play. He's still not going to be out there that much.
It's ridiculous.
He shouted out Chamari over and over, and I just think Chris is down the depth chart. And while he did make a great play, I don't know that it earned him more time yet.
If only, man. If they play more split safety again this week like they did, I imagine the Ravens are going to have a plan for it, and they can probably attack him a little bit with his size, because they do have some bigger guys down the field that you might be able to. Like Charlie Kohler is one of the guys that is Isaiah Likely if he plays. Mark Andrews, you can kind of attack him a little bit because he is a little smaller. So there is that to it as well.
Dan, would you give up a Tigers postseason bid to guarantee a Chiefs win Sunday? Would you?
I apologize to everybody when I say this, but no, I would not. However, the Tigers are going to take that option away from me because they suck. So,
yeah, well, if wishes were, I don't even remember what that phrase is. Dede, and I know I should call you something else, but I always forget how to do it. So thank you for being a member and for your support, pal.
Thank you.
I want to see the D-line, no-line play mean and aggressive. They need to fire off the ball. You and me both. I mean, I think Creed had a comment on it last week that kind of said like they know they have to, but I don't know. I've been listening to more national media this week than I have so far this season. To be honest, I just haven't had time to listen to other podcasters and stuff like that. And the volume of people that are echoing us from the last 2 years. I heard more people talk about running duo repeatedly this week than I've ever heard out of anyone's mouth but yours. So I'm just fired up, folks. Like, we tell you these things, the team comes around a year or 2 years later. The media is starting to do it too. Yes, we would love to see that, but I think it's more about the technique than the fire off, because that's just not how this team rolls. But I think if they were to double team more, if they were to take a more aggressive tact in the blocking scheme, I think that would pay off as well.
We don't talk just to talk, guys. I know sometimes it seems like we do, and we're not going to be right about everything, but we have a general sense of what this team wants to do, and we have a general sense of what they might have to do a little bit more to be successful as the tides turn, right? Because football is cyclical. Everything comes back around. Everything. Why do you think fullback is becoming more of a thing in the NFL? Why do you think the run game is back? Why do you think? Because stylistically, teams are like, hey, we can throw the football on all you. You're big. You can't run as fast as these guys. So we're going to throw it around the yard. Defense is like, fine. We're going to get athletic. Safeties are playing linebacker. We're going to get small guys to play safety. We're going to get nickels on the field all the time. And then defensive tackles, we're going to slim down. We're going to attack gaps. We're going to pass rush. So offenses are like, you know what? Maybe we should just beef up. Let's go ahead and get a Jordan Mailata in the 7th round. Let's make him a beefy offensive lineman. Let's just build 330 pounds across the offensive line, and we're going to play smash mouth in your face football. And now we're going to have a quarterback who also can bench 700 pounds, and we're going to run this. You see how this? You see what happens here? It's all cyclical. The Chiefs right now are on the heel turn of what's happening in the NFL. The Rams, the 49ers, the Eagles got out in front of this because they saw what was happening. And also, they are more of a run diverse teams. The head coaches always have been. But when when Andy drafted Patrick, he was like, here, you go throw the football because that's what I've been wanting to do. We've won Super Bowls with it. They still can do that, but the run game now is more important than it was 3 years ago to an NFL offense.
Yeah. And as you said, it pays to be out front of the curve. And Andy is not on anything to do with the run and never has been. He never will be. And so as much as I can cry, it's not going to help us. Cody, Gary, Dan, Ryan, where do I upgrade my membership from Draft Pick? He might have answered this. It should still be in the memberships tab. Go into community, and I think it should be there. I can look at that while Dan takes this next question too.
I got you, Bradley. So the people in the national media out there say about our dumb thing about the Chiefs offensive line, and our offensive line proving every week numbers are better. And I know you guys have seen this too. There's a lot of weird stuff with statistics out there right now. Sometimes the oversaturation of statistics makes things look worse or better than they actually are when you watch the tape. And I think one of the more interesting things I'm seeing is that the Chiefs offensive line doesn't pass block well. However, it does pass block well. So there's a lot of differing opinions. There's a lot of differing statistics. It's hard to say this offensive line is consistently bad because of this statistic, or my statistic is better than yours. That's kind of the problem with just going with the numbers. So I don't think the Chiefs offensive line has been perfect. I think it's been probably just above average, if I had to guess, in terms of what I'm seeing on the field. They have some really good plays. They have some bad ones. And Kingsley's learning on the job with the whole new left side. Jawan Taylor's playing worse a little bit. You also have Trey Smith playing a little bit worse. So I think that where they are right now, considering that, is a good place to be in early in the season. So I understand like that whole situation. I think it's going to get a lot better, and specifically after the bye.
I think you're probably right. You just need that exposure time, and it should come at that point. I am going to throw this up here real quick just so everybody can see it, and we can answer that question. So in this join button is where you would go for the different levels. Now I did it on a incognito tab so that it isn't actually showing the join button for me because I'm not currently a member on that tab. So it should be in the same spot though. And if it's not, the community tab is where you'll want to go. On the actual channel header itself, I'll walk you through that here real quick. Except I'm not part of the community, so I can't access that part of the community. So that's what that is. So up here along the top where you have video, shorts, live, podcast, there's going to be a community tab because you're already in. So you can get there, you can do that, and then you can change it within Cody. So I appreciate it. Welcome in. We have some cool stuff coming there. So appreciate you looking into that and check it out. And for those of you who may have a free membership that's running out or something that Minotaur gave you or somebody else gifted you, this would be the same process for you guys to upgrade as well. Beefy, nice to see you. Thanks for being a member as well. Because Kingsley's better at run blocking, you think that he'd be a better right guard than a left guard. And my only reaction to that is I'm a little bit more old school. Dan may disagree, but you generally want to pull to your strength, right? And most running backs are right-handed. They want to go to the right-hand side. The left guard's the one who used to get out in space more. It's not necessarily true, especially with the West Coast offense. But I will say this. Not only is he better at run blocking, he's also a better athlete in space than Trey is. So flipping them would do no good. It would diminish both of them, honestly. And I don't think Kingsley is meant to be a right guard. I think he's just too athletic for that. I think he's a classic left.
Yeah, I'm just at the point where I think that everyone needs to be able to do what's asked of them on the offensive line. We got into a point now where we don't have to be, just because you're bigger, clunkier, play on the right side, or you're better on blocking, play on the right side. Like it's for me, it's like, look, everyone's got to be better athletes now. That's what we're seeing now. Trace Smith's a good athlete. The Chiefs have athletes across the offensive line now. Like they are boom, 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 boom. They are top down with athleticism. And I don't know about you guys, but whenever I play Madden or like NCAA, I'm always running to the left. I don't know what it is. I hate running to the right. I can't stand going to the right. I don't know why it is, but like my thumb goes this way a lot better than goes that way. So that's just kind of a watching it and playing it obviously are two different things, but I think that we got to the point now where the Chiefs are athletic enough along the offensive line that it does not matter where you get to play.
I think Dan just called me clunky, and he wouldn't be wrong.
Call you clunky.
I am not the athlete I used to be. Executing has been the Chiefs' problem. Players turning in the wrong direction, etc. Andy can't expand the playbook with Andy Reid do some yelling at halftime. I mean, he's not that type of coach from what I understand, but he's running out of years, right? There ain't no reason to hold back at this point. And you got to do something. I personally believe the motivation to execute better has to come from within. It has to come from the players, the captains, the leaders, the vets. They have to push that, in my opinion. But I don't know that it would hurt, Joe. I think if Andy got up there and railed on somebody or railed in general at halftime, I think it might work. It's got to scare something into the offense because God knows they need it.
Yeah, I know that Travis talks very highly of the way that Andy Reid coaches now. You know, when he came to Kansas City, he had to reset the culture, right? It was a whole different thing. It was, we're going to play now this way. This is how I'm going to do it. You're going to listen to what I say. And now it's a little bit different. So I don't know if Andy Reid ever should go back to that point, because they've gotten to this specific mountaintop because of the way that Andy Reid has coached and allowed them to be free within the offense. We are seeing execution, because of that freedom, start to have more holes, which I'm personally okay living with. But once it gets to a point where the execution across the board is a problem because you are switching guys out, maybe there needs to be a little bit more rigidity to it. And not necessarily like yelling at guys, but if you have Tyquan Thornton, Hollywood Brown, you're drafting Rashee Rice, you're drafting Xavier Worthy all into the offense, you're going to have another tight end because Travis Kelce's retiring after the season. Like, some rigidity for these guys is a good thing. It is, because it allows you to grow within the offense and then free up. So I think that's what Andy Reid does with rookies. However, throw them to the fire with a little bit of that rigidity. I think right now would be a good idea to do that too.
I think a little bit of fire goes a long way. And I think right now is the time, because everybody's so down on the Chiefs. Like, I'm looking into this. I think if you want to get in the action, you should do that as well. ProfitX is our newest group, peer-to-peer, no house. ProfitX, America's #1 sports prediction market, is a peer-to-peer sports prediction market where users play against each other instead of a sports book versus the house. You will almost always get the best price on any spread, money line, total, or player prop, since you're playing against other people rather than the book. ProfitX offers dual currency system, either Profit Points or Profit Cash, and operates across 40 states. Use the promo code RGR and claim up to $200 in Profit Cash on all plays for the first 30 days playing on the site. ProfitX gives you the best lines in the space, and you can even set your own odds on specific wagers on your players, all at ProfitX. Go there and use the code RGR. Terms and conditions apply. They do. Now, before we get too much farther, I do want to tell you guys this too. For those of you who don't subscribe to to NFL 33, the opposite of RGR, the non-Chief stuff, my latest is up there and it's free. So if you haven't had a chance to see it, I just put the whole thing out because I kind of touched on a bunch of stuff that I care about around the league that no one else seems to want to do. And I put up our best deal ever. It's 40% off month to month. Go check it out. It's NFL33.com. And you can hear some non-Chiefs things. I don't write the greatest, but I think you'll enjoy the takes that I put in my weekly column, and, come back and argue with them. We can cover them here. Dan and I have debates when we're not on camera. So maybe we'll get to that point with you guys too. Is it a must-win game? That's a good question. Coming back from 1-3 is not good, but it's better known for. So I would say it's close. It feels like the same for last week. What do you think?
I think this is as close to a must-win as you get in terms of what the Chiefs have to do to get to the point where they want, right? That's the idea. You don't want to go to 1-3 because it's such an uphill climb. And remember, before the season, I thought they were going to go 12-5 this year. Like I thought that was it. And if you think they're going to go 12-5, they can only lose 2 more games the rest of the season if they're 1-3. So yes, I did as close as a team that with the aspirations as the Chiefs have. I do believe it's as close you can get to a must-win game.
I mean, I'm kind of in the same spot, and like it feels like they should have this advantage. And if they do, I'll just go back to the fact that I had them at 13-4 for the season. And they get through that. The Commanders look pretty tough. Obviously, Josh and the Bills are out there.
Yeah.
But I mean, losing 2 games just because they were the first 2 games. Yeah, the Lions are too. That's fair. So there's 3 big games there. But just losing the first 2 games doesn't set aside the whole season. You can not only still win the West, you can still win the AFC if you end up knocking the snot out of somebody. So it ain't over till it's over, is my point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Swag, it's a must win, but it's not the end of the world. Gary, thank you. Do the Chiefs and take higher draft pick on a running back next year? Oh, Gary.
Ryan hates this question.
I want to say they should, but every time I think they will, they don't. And when I never in the world thought they would, they took Clyde. So I honestly don't know because I cannot predict what in the world is going through their brains. But I will say this, they got to do more. Like I said, I would have been good if they took a 4th rounder this year. Like as long as it's day 3, I'm perfectly fine. There are guys on the practice squad of other teams right now that can give you more juice than what you have in the backfield right goddamn now. Sorry, I didn't mean to get upset. It's okay. It's going to be okay.
So guys, here's the thing. They will not have Kareem Hunt or Isaiah Pacheco on the roster next year, in my opinion. I don't believe that's going to be a thing. And because they were confident that Isaiah Pacheco was going to be good this year. They told themselves, he looks great. He's going to have a good year. Well, guess what? He looks diminished. And they're going to be like, no, we can't do this. Brashard Smith will be there. Sure. However, they will have to draft a running back and probably add a lower cost, maybe mid-tier veteran to fill out the running back room. This is not going to be a team that has 2 running backs on the roster. They'll need 3 or 4 because that's what they want to do.
So put your favorite running back in the chat. We'll start running them down now.
There you go. There you go.
5th round, whatever. Like I said, there's still guys around the league you could go get right now for a song. Sam, nice to see you. Do you see the Chiefs trading for running back before the deadline? Trading for one is a whole different scenario. And as much as they can't bring themselves to spend a draft asset on them, they certainly are going to trade a draft asset away. So unless somebody wants to come get, I mean, if Rasheed comes back, Rasheed's back before the trade deadline, right? He should be on the field before the trade deadline.
3 games before.
If somebody comes back and they're like, we'll give you a 3rd rounder for Tyquan. I mean, you got to consider it, right?
I don't.
No, I mean, I wouldn't do it either, but you got to at least listen, right?
I mean, sure, but
like short of something like that, where you could squeeze in a running back trade in the middle, like just trading for a running back will not happen.
I agree. Did you guys hear that? Did something just weird happen?
Yeah, I heard something, but
yeah, I don't know what that was. That was very weird. I think the speakers that I have were just talking, and that makes me very uneasy. However, the Chiefs, what's one thing that Andy Reid hates more than a running back room that he's not getting the most out of? A running back room he's not getting the most out of with a veteran he has to teach how to run his system. No, he's not going to do that.
Yeah, I agree with you. We got a few more here, and we will hit the road. So, folks, last call for questions. And let's get at it. Where'd it go? See, and then I lost my place. Oh, info. I already put it up. That's why I'm just dumb right now. Small sample size, but it looked like Jackson Dart was running the Florida Gators offense when Tebow was there. You mean at Ole Miss? I mean, that's definitely debatable, and I can see why.
I think he's talking about the Giants in the preseason.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that was just basically trying to do an approximation of his college offense, which was an approximation of the floor. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. What he's going to do now is what I'm really interested in, because he's got to absorb the package that was there for Russ as well as the stuff that he can do, because that was just too limited in the preseason for me. So, like, as much as I'm a Dart guy, and I was ever since he was at USC, like, I thought he'd be an NFL starter when he was a freshman. But it's not an easy road to get there, in my opinion. How do you feel about him?
Yeah, I think that he's going to run the exact same offense. We're going to throw the ball down the field. We're going to check it down, but he adds the rushing element. He adds the scramble element that Russell Wilson doesn't give you anymore. And he's bigger. Like, he's going to run tougher. He can see over the offensive line a little bit better than Russell can. So I do think that he's going to add that physical element. He's going to get the offense juiced up from time to time with some of his physicality. I just think that he's too limited as a processor right now, along with his ability to feel pressure to be put in this situation and expect anything good. And if it is good for the Giants, however, this is a coaching staff that is in a position where they're going to lose their jobs, and they are trying desperately to save them, which nothing good comes out of. So I don't like the situation for Jackson Dart, who I wasn't as high on, but you're talking about failing a guy in his rookie season who's going to learn an entirely different offense next year and be behind the 8 ball again. It's a terrible situation.
Yeah, I feel for him. He's got natural talent, and that can overcome some things. They can't overcome everything, so we just hope that he survives. Doctor Who Bucker will not miss this week, not to jinx it. Well, I hope he's listening to you, because I'm about tired of it, and I've been trying to hold off on it. If he misses it again, we're going to have words. Chances of getting Jeremiah Love in the draft, Dan, you got to tell me, because I haven't even looked yet.
He'll be a first-round pick, so I don't think so. I don't think the Chiefs are going to do it. However, they've proven us wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Hanneman, nice to see you. I'm also a Commanders fan. Conley's been struggling because he's playing as much right tackle on an island. I'm not sure why I picked that one, because he doesn't have any question marks there. That's all on me. Sorry. Perry, is the RB problem on Veach or Andy? Why spend on the running back if you don't use it? And you don't use it if the talent isn't there. Well, let's not mix any messages here. Andy Reid is in charge of this whole thing. So if it's chicken or the egg, it's the old chicken.
Yeah, that's all it is, right? It's just that's how it's always going to be, guys.
It is. And guys, the Giants, Parsons and Crosby are hell of a gauntlet for a young rookie. You're absolutely right. And again, I picked a thing that you didn't even put questions on, so I'm an idiot. Cody, if the Chiefs made a trade for a running back for the Dudley, which rebuild team would you like to poach from?
Oh, geez. I don't know, guys. I try not to entertain this thought, because I don't think they're going to do it. And because I realistically don't know a team that's going to be trading away a guy that runs inside outside zone well. Like, I just don't see that happening. So, I mean, Blake Corum is fun. I like Blake Corum, but he's kind of the backup now for Kyren Williams in LA. Just give me Damian Martinez. I don't even want to trade. Just go get Damian Martinez off of the Seahawks practice squad. Like, just go find a rookie running back. I don't even need to trade for him.
Yeah. Go get him and Edwards and put him back there and just run him until somebody claims the title. That's fine by me. Thank you, Cody Beach. Thank you again. Will Cincy trade Hendrickson before the deadline? I think they might, but they ain't trading him the Chiefs. That's the problem.
Yeah, no.
I just don't think they'd ever pull the trigger on that.
Well, the Chiefs wouldn't do it either, because you have to give up multiple, at least a first-round pick for them. And the Chiefs are not doing that for the Bengals and vice versa.
Not at that age. Hell no. Beach, thank you, though. And Black and Gold, thank you. Team needs more better from 65. Am I wrong? More, I would say he's been up and down a little bit, but he's still pretty damn solid. But I would say more, yes.
Agreed. He's not been his best self, I would say, but just trying to figure out his balance. I think once he gets that figured out, I do think he'll be just fine, though.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, any racing movie updates, and we'll end on Jonathan.
No, Jonathan, I have not watched any racing movies since we've talked about it. No offense, I don't plan on it.
Come on, you know you want to.
I really don't.
It is Friday night. I hope you guys have a great one. We are out of here. Thanks for watching the game plan. Thanks for checking out our sponsors and doing the gear and doing it on a whole 9 yards. Chiefs are going to get a win this week. Oh, we didn't do our predictions.
We didn't do the predictions.
All right. Well, if you didn't hear mine on Locked On Chiefs, I'll tell you the same thing. I think the Chiefs fall early, fall behind early, that is. I think they rage and catch up in the third quarter. I think they end up winning 28-23. And I don't think it's that close. I think the three come in the fourth quarter for the Ravens, and they don't catch all the way up.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm there yet. I still have yet to see this Chiefs team do a whole lot against a pretty bad defense last week. They didn't put up that many points, so I'm probably going to be on the 24 side of this for the Chiefs. However, I do think they're going to win. It's going to be a little closer than I think Ryan thinks the game plays out, but I think they win 24-20.
Okay, I like it. Folks, let us know what you think. Put yours in the comments here. Like Gary already did. He's got the Chiefs by 4 as well. Very close to my score, so I appreciate you, Gary. You guys have a great Saturday. We'll be with you live on Sunday post-game like we always are, and I hope that you enjoy your weekend until then. Look for the timing. I will get it all set up and that kind of thing. We're going to be balancing some other stuff. So thank you. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your Sunday morning. I know it's a late kickoff, so for Dan, he'll already be up late. It's going to be fine.
The ridiculous thing, guys. It's so at this time, I just never live in this time zone.
4:15 Eastern. Oh, here we go. All right. Have a good one, folks. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.